Hello everybody, I am Preeti from Ediroop and I am a Java and Modern full stack trainer. In today's session, we are going to understand what is CSS and some basic concepts of CSS with some examples. Okay, so let's start with the CSS. What is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Okay. Styles define how to display the HTML elements. That is what we call as a CSS. So why it is used? The CSS, why it is used? To define some styles over the web page. Like how we are using as a colors, font sizes. I just want to display in my page as a styles. Then we are using CSS over here. Okay. Let's understand the styles rules. Understanding style rules of a CSS. You go for any language, there is like particular rules will be there. Either it is a programming language or it is a markup language. Some rules, some syntaxes are applicable. The first rule, the style rule or style rule is composed of two parts here. First as a selector and second part what we have here as a declaration. Selector, which is here th shortcut we have here the tags. Th means table heading and color red. Okay, this is the whole thing. We call this as a declaration part and selector we call this as a th. So what is the meaning of selector? What is the meaning of a declaration? The selector indicates the element to which the rule is applied. Here the element, the which element we are taking it, for that it is rule is applicable. That is what we call it as selector. And the declaration determines the property values of a selector. Declaration always include property name and a value. The combination of both the property name and value, we call it as declaration here. The property name is here color and the value will be red. This is very important while using the style. Okay. Next, the property specifies the characteristics such as color, the main thing, color, font family, position, and is followed by a colon. Always you just remember whenever you are writing a property, always it is followed by what? Colon itself. The value expresses the specification of a property such as red for a color, Arial for a font family, and 12 pixels for a font size, and it is followed by a semicolon. One declaration over means just end with a semicolon. That is what they are telling here. Okay, here coming to the example. P is the paragraph, that is what we call it as selector here, and the color will be the property name and red will be the value. Now you understood the rules. Okay, so we'll take some example over here. Okay, CSS declarations always ends with a semicolon and declaration groups are surrounded by curly brackets. Very important thing guys. So when you are using it, the declaration over here, what you have to do, you have to choose the curly brackets. The curly brackets very important, and the semicolon is also very important. Okay, so I'll just give one example here. Here I've used paragraph as a selector and color I've given it as red and text align center. is the best example. Okay, I'll show you with a tool which we are using for the writing this HTML using a VS Code. I already created one file here. What is that? Eduroop learning.html file in your folder. Okay, in the Eduroop folder I have one file. What is that name is Eduroop learning.html. Here I'll just take one example. Whatever I'll write in the body itself, that is what the content part of a web page. So let's take a heading. Heading as Eduroop learning. And paragraph. Paragraph, we have default paragraph over here. Lorem. Correct? Yeah. Now you see that I just want to display this thing on my web page. You can go for just right click on that file, copy the path, take any browser. Suppose if you want, just take any browser over here. Not only Google Chrome, many browsers are available. I'll just paste the path here. Can you see here? It is displaying, right? I'm just zoom it. It's Eduroop learning and the paragraph will be visible here. I just want to style these things with the CSS concept. So how to do that? Very simple. Here I just want to add the color. What I'll do? Okay, so in the head I'll be using a style. I'll just call heading. See, now this is the selector I have selected. Okay, selector it is. Inside the selector, what we have? Property and name. The color, I'm just writing it as right. Okay, now you go and refresh the page. Is that changing to red color? Obviously yes. Then this background color I just wanted to add. You have the property names over here. Suppose if you type something, it will be I'll just add it aqua color. Whatever the color will be added. It's your wish. Okay, next this content I just want in the center. So let's take here text align center and just refresh. See, it is coming on center. Next, for the paragraph also say I just wanted to design. I just want to style. Color I'll give it as white and background color I'll just make it as purple. Whatever color you can give. And text align, just I'll make it as center. Just go here and just refresh the thing. The color can see the color here. The background color will be purple and the paragraph color which color it is? White. It will be displayed. Very simple. The rules we have to follow. Suppose if I just take it out this thing, I'm not maintaining my rules. I'm not applying my rules over here. Okay, what happens? Just see. It is not going to apply the color. That is what you need to follow the rules very carefully when you are using the CSS. Correct? Now you just refresh, it will be applicable. Okay, coming to the point. CSS comments. CSS comments, why it is used? CSS comments are just used to explanation of your code. Okay, a CSS comment begins with a / asterisk and ends with a asterisk and / like this only it is going to end. So this is my comment. I just want to explain in a particular code. How do I comment it? Very simple. I just want here text align center. I don't want means I can comment it. So what's the comment of a CSS here? / asterisk. Okay, next / asterisk / see, you just see here it is not in the center. The paragraph it is not coming on the center, but rest of the parameters it is applicable. Okay, like way I just want to comment it. Color also. How do I comment it? / asterisk asterisk / with that color also it will be go. It will go. Text color is white now, it is coming now black by default. Understood now? Comments, what is the CSS comments? And it will be just explanation. If I don't want any style means you can comment it through the CSS comments. Next, we are learning here CSS selectors. There are like many selectors will be there, but main selector I am going to explain in this session. First what it is? ID selector. Very important. ID selector is used to specify a style for a single unique element. It is going to style unique element. Just remember. And the ID selector uses the ID attribute. ID attribute of the HTML element and is defined with what? Hash character. Very important. Always it is going to, whenever you take the ID, always you just define with the hash character. A style rule below will be applied to the element with the ID is equal to, this is what the, how you are giving the ID. So how you are giving the ID, that is very important. Just take it here, ID as a para 1. Example I'll explain. Take the example. Okay, here I wanted to add one more para Laura. This I'll make it as first paragraph. This I'll make it as second paragraph. Okay. Okay, done. You see that in a web page, how many paragraphs will be available? 2. See here, it is applying the same color, but I don't want the second paragraph as the same style. I just want different style, unique style. Then what I'll do in the paragraph, I'll use the ID attribute, ID as a para. Para, how to call this ID? I think we are using it as a hash para. ID, the para name is para, so I'm just using a hash character and I'm calling the ID name. Then I just want to apply the color as white, background color, I'll just make it as random color over here. See the differences. Understood? This paragraph and this paragraph before it was coming same. Now it's a unique style. That is what we can do with the ID. Okay. The next very important, class selector. What is class selector? How it is used? That we are going to learn. The class selector is used to specify a style for a group of elements. Unlike the ID selector, the class selector is most often used on several elements. Not only one single element, group of elements I can use, or several elements also I can use. This allows you to set a particular style for any HTML elements with the same class. I can use many times a class name as the same also, but in this case ID we cannot use. Okay, a class selector uses the HTML class attribute and is defined with what? Full stop character, dot character. Okay, example I'll explain, don't worry. Here I just given it as a para ID. Here I just want one more paragraph. The paragraph name just paragraph Lauren, and one more paragraph I just want here. Let's take heading only. Heading Infosys. Okay, here I'll just add the class as class 1. Okay, and this heading, you see that one heading and this heading, two headings will be there. Okay, why it is applying the same style? Because we are calling a h1 style, that's the reason. But I'll just comment it. How do you comment it? Very simple. This is the comment line, so I don't want that color, I just want different thing. Can you see the two headings over here? These two headings I just want the same style. How do we call the class name? Very simple. The class I have given it as class 1. For this h1 also I will be using same class only. What is the class name? Class 1. This class 1 I just, how do you call the class? Full stop. How do you call the ID? Hash character. Here full stop. Okay, periodic character we can say. Here I just call it as class 1. Just write it as color. I just want it as brown. Background color I just want it as aqua color. See the changes now? Just refresh the page. Is that applied? Yeah, obviously it is going to apply. Same styling if you want, then you can go for the class name. Understood? Now the class and ID, clearly you learned this. Next we are going to explain 3 ways to add a CSS. How to insert the CSS? There are like 3 ways will be there. CSS is added to HTML pages to format the document according to information in the style sheet. There are like 3 ways to insert a CSS. First way, what is that first way here? Inline CSS, internal CSS, external CSS. These are 3 ways. Okay, how the inline CSS will be applied? An inline style may be used to apply unique style for a single element. To use inline styles, add the style attribute to the relevant element. The style attribute contain any CSS property. Syntax that is given in the HTML tag, style the property you have to use. Then give the property name and value. I'll just give you, don't worry. What I'll do, I'll create a one single file in the editor folder only, ways.html. So here first, as how many inline CSS we have, I'll make it clear, don't worry. And second, internal CSS, And lastly, we have external CSS. These three ways, okay? Now I just wanted to display this copy path. Just go here and take the new tab, just paste it, and you see inline, internal, external CSS. Three ways. First, I just wanted to add inline CSS. How to apply this inline CSS? Inside the HTML tag, just use the property style. Just I'll use right background color. Better we will give color white, background color after one declaration and with semicolon. That is very important. Background color, just I'll give it as blue. See the changes. Is that inline CSS is applied? Obviously. See, it is applied. Now done with the inline CSS. Next is internal CSS. Internal style sheet is used to add unique style for a single document. That is for single element. Okay, this is for single document. It is defined as a head tag section of the HTML page inside the style tag. Okay, where it is actually indicated in the head section. I'll show you where it is. Okay, in the head section after the title tag, what you have to use here? Style tag. And here, because it is all are h1 only, for that I'll just use the class name. Internal, I'll just use it as IE. Okay, internal CSS. IE, how do you call the class name? Dot IE. Apply the color. Color white, background color. See. Any changes? Obviously internal CSS. Where it is applied? In the style tag. In the head tag, we are using style tag. Understood? Now, I just want one more way we have. What is that? External CSS. Very important. With an external style sheet, you can change the look of an entire website by changing just one file. You just wanted to apply a style for entire website. Just go for external CSS. Each HTML page must include a reference to the external style sheet file inside the link tag element inside the head section. Okay, an external style sheet can be written in any text editor and must be saved with the file extension. What is that file extension here? .css. The external .css file should not contain any HTML tags. Obviously, when it is completely pure .css file, which means that there is no tags at all. HTML code we cannot write in the CSS file. Now I'll just go with the external. External, how we can connect? I'll just use the class as external IC. Okay, EC. Okay, here EC as the class name I have just used. External I just wanted to use means you need to create a file name. I'll just use it as style.css. Completely pure, it is a CSS file. I cannot write here h1 tag. Definitely it is going to show the errors. So what we need to do? It is pure CSS file means only style the things. So class name, how do you call the class name? Class name is EC and just apply the color as a white and background color as magenta. Okay, now I just call this class name also I applied some styles. but it is not shown in the website. In the web page, it is not displayed. We need to link this link where you need in the header section after the title use the link single colon css which file name it is style.css. By default it is taking style.css. Okay, now save the file. Now go and refresh the page. Say it is not something we did. What is it? In the index.html, no, it is on the base.html. There you have to link it. If you are linking with another file means it is not going to. Here style.css. Now you just go and refresh the page. This bit is applied, correct? In the base.html, so in this base.html only we have the EC as a class name, external CSS I wanted to apply. Then this is the tile.css. In that we use the CSS properties. Why it is called it as external means it is outside the file, the CSS file will be there. That is the reason it is called as external CSS. Now all the CSS ways are applied. Only 3 ways we have. Other than that, nothing. The next, what are the advantages of CSS? We need to know. CSS always it is saves time. When most of us first learn HTML, we get taught to set the font size, color, style, etc. 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 every time it occurs on a page, correct? This means we find ourselves typing or copying and pasting the same thing over and over again. With CSS, you only have to specify these details once for many elements. CSS will automatically apply the specified styles whenever that element occurs. This is what it is happening. But we are like it is in the software itself. If you are typing font means all the properties that is going to display. There is need not to mention explicitly, automatically it is going to apply. Correct? This is what it saves the time. Second thing, pages load faster. Less code means faster download times. Okay, the second point, pages load faster and easy maintenance will be happening. To change the style of an element, you only have to make an edit in one place. Easy maintenance. Next is superior styles to HTML. CSS has much wider array of attributes than HTML. These are the advantages of CSS. And whatever you see, there are like advantages will be there means obviously disadvantage also is there. Disadvantages of CSS. Browser compatibility. Browsers have varying levels of compliance with the style sheets. Okay, this means that some style sheet features are supported and some aren't. To confuse things more, some browser manufacturers decide to come up with their own proprietary tags. Like several browsers we are using it, but all browsers will be not having a compatibility. Some tags will be working in some particular browsers. Some style sheets will be applied for some particular browsers. That will be happening. Okay, that is the disadvantage of the CSS. But the older versions of browsers it will be like not supporting. Some will be supporting, some will not be. But the now latest versions of a browsers, everything it is going to support. Okay, this is the advantage and disadvantages of CSS. Today in this session you learned what is CSS, what are the basic rules of CSS, and with some examples, and what is the ways to add a CSS, like 3 ways we have, and advantages and disadvantages also, you know guys. Okay, uh, so let's wind up here. Thank you. In the next session, you are learning many concepts of CSS also. Thank you.